experience as a teacher, the amount of time it takes a student to finish a test has no connection whatsoever with whether they do well or not. Sometimes the first people to finish a test get the best grades. Sometimes the first people to finish a test get the worst grades. Because if you don't know anything, you could take a test really fast. A, B, C, C, B, A. A, B, C, and then you hand it in and everybody thinks, wow, you're so smart, and you got the worst grade in the class. Same thing goes for people who are among the last students, and I just wanted to share this also just as encouragement to you. My wife, when she was in college, was a great student, and she ended up graduating from college, and I think her grade point average was like 3.8 or 3.9, which means she got almost all A's. But she told me that when she was in college, almost every time she took a test, she was always one of the last 3 or 4 students left in the room at the very end, you know, as people were leaving. And her attitude was, the teacher said I have an hour, I'm going to take an hour. And so she didn't worry if other people left. She just concentrated and took her time and was slow and careful and took every minute that she could get. So from now on, if you ever see students in your classes turning in the test and you're still working on it, instead of just admiring them, just look, don't say this, but look at them as they walk out the door and just think, you rushed. I'm being smart. I'm taking all the time. And that's the total opposite of what most people think. So that has nothing to do with this, but that's just sort of extra. Okay? How much time do I have to take the test? Okay. Teacher number 1 says you have an hour if you need it to take this test. You find out how many questions there are, and there are 30. Okay? So just like with the last example, 60 is twice as much as 30. So that would mean that you have 2 minutes for every question. And again, we're just assuming this is all multiple choice and true false for now. I don't know if you've ever timed it. You probably don't know. But if you had 2 minutes to answer each question, that's about as good as it's ever going to get, okay? Because it doesn't usually take people that long. So when you know that this is going to be your test, how do you study for it? Probably the normal way is fine. But how about if you have a teacher, a mean one, and they say you have 30 minutes, not one more second, and you have 60 questions to answer. Okay, that's bad, okay? So this would be, again, just like the opposite of this, would be 2 questions per minute, which means you only have 30 seconds for each question. So on this particular test here, how many times are you going to be able to read each question? Yeah, probably once. How many times are you going to be able to look at each choice? Once. You can't just sit there and think, ah, yes, I remember learning that. Let me think if I... No. This is like a slow jog. This is like sprint. You have to go fast, right? So not only do you have to know the material, you have to know it fast. And so this is kind of the point of this one is, can anybody think of a little study tool that you could use to train your brain to think of things really fast? It's a really small thing that some of you have used before.
Process of elimination?
That's good. This is why you study. And it's something small, and it has 2 sides to it. This shape. Front and back.
What, index card?
There you go. Yes, flashcards. Okay. Flashcards would be good to study for pretty much any test where you had, facts to learn, but it's especially good for this for one simple reason.